Hello, welcome to Ed Media. With the release of the finale of BFDIA approaching soon, we will see one of the finalists be crowned the winner soon. But who are those finalists? Book and Needle. Now I will keep my opinion on these finalists for the future since I do want to save that for a future video. However, I do want to share my thoughts on my personal choice for who I'd want to be the finalists. So let's get started. So before I start, I do want to clarify what exactly are the rules or whatever. Even though I do have my dream finalists, I do have a specific way of choosing them. First of all, they have to have gone through a ton of development throughout this season. No one wants a boring finalist. So yeah, the contestant I want has to have gone through tons of development this season. They'd have to be dynamic and entertaining. This essentially means they can work with anyone and in general just not be boring. And lastly, obviously I chose my favorite characters to be finalists. That doesn't mean my favorite characters automatically became finalists. Golf Ball and Ice Cube are in my top 5, but I don't see them as finalists for this season. Maybe another season. Okay, well maybe Golf Ball would have been an awesome pick because she was dynamic this season, but I don't really recall any development despite her being an already good character. This was just not the best season for her to win. So while my picks for the finalists are definitely in my favorites tier, I didn't just blindly choose my favorites. So with that out of the way, let's talk about my picks for the 2 finalists of this season.
Nothing's allowed to stay the same. Friends and enemies sent away.
Okay, so let's start with my first pick for the finalists. Now this is a character that is actually already a finalist, so take that as you will. Anyways, my first pick for a finalist would be Needle. So if I decided to make a video going over my picks for the finalists, basically my dream, why'd I choose a character that's already a finalist? Well, that's because I simply don't see the finalists any other way. There was no way I would not include Needle as a finalist. She was amazing this season. Does this mean I prefer Needle being a finalist than Golf Ball this season? Well, yes. My dream finalists include Needle because I've been rooting for her for a long while. So why would I? Well, I don't want to get too specific because I do want to make a video going over the actual finalists, so we will go over what I can. All I want to say for now is that I love Needle this season. She was shown to be dynamic as she was able to be extremely competitive and formed a lot of relationships this season. She worked with a lot of people and she was entertaining herself. She was an ambitious and determined character. Not just that, her character arc was amazing. It was shown her evolution from trying to make her presence feel known, to becoming set on making a name for herself and becoming as independent as she can get. And she was able to back it up too, as she had insane strength and power. She was able to be a threat in the game due to her insane feats like her strength, speed, and techniques. She was definitely a strong player. There's no way I would leave out Needle, just no way. I love her too much for that. And she earned her spot in the finalists.
Nothing's allowed to stay the same. Friends and enemies sent away.
So now that we have our first finalist pick, who would be my second pick? Well, actually she's also a finalist. Just kidding. My second and final pick for the finalists of BFDIA is Pin. Yes, I know this is a bit controversial since Pin is either loved or hated this season due to her villainous side, and people will be mad that I didn't pick a quote-unquote better character and they'll say someone like Fries or Tennis Ball, but I didn't enjoy them as much, to be honest. Pin was way more entertaining as a villain, and it was built up well too. Now I also don't want to get too in deep into Pin because I do want to make an analysis video on her, which if things go well, should be coming soon. I do want to go briefly why I think she deserves to be a finalist. She was always a prominent character this season as she was one of the few members of the original Woe Bunch, in which she and Coiny had to work together to build the team up. And along with this, both formed a really close friendship. However, their friendship evolved when Pin was becoming more and more disabled. To the point she could only communicate with Coiny telepathically. He went on a journey to rescue her, to only fail. However, she was given her face and size back, but instead of limbs, she was given a mech. This became a blessing for her rather than a curse. She was able to make her presence known through this because she became more of a villain after the abuse she went through. This caused her to become more and more of a threat due to her mech. She gained a battery, rockets and soon a drill. This caused her entire villain arc where she had her huge win, causing everyone to distance from her, and she even lost Coiny. That was where her story ended, since Coiny managed to get her back by causing both of them to be up for elimination. But imagine if she survived. She could have still remained villainous. However, her arc should go that she single-handedly caused Coiny to get eliminated, and she develops to become the Pin we know today. She would have made a great finalist. However, the development and screen time we got was enough to prove to me that she should have been a finalist. So now that I got my finalist choices, what are some of my thoughts that these guys should have gone through as finalists, like their dynamic and winner choice? I personally think the dynamic of these two would have been amazing. Pin and Needle are strong and competitive players. They could have made a strong finalist duo. We see both of them bring out the best in each other as both compete for the win very ambitiously, since both are really strong. But they'd both learn from each other to become better. Needle could have learned to know it's okay to rely on other people while still playing for herself from Pin, as Pin is able to do amazing things and make it far while also doing it with Coiny. And Pin could learn from Needle that forming many relationships with others is a great prize as much as the win for the season from Needle, due to Needle forming friendships with Book and Coiny and seeing how that benefited her. And this would have made sense for Needle to still remain friends with Pin in the present. They both would have had a unique dynamic that we don't see nowadays. As for who I'd want to win, it's definitely hard to pick since both of these gals had so much development and entertainment provided, but if I had to choose, I'd choose Pin. She really evolved the most this season and objectively went through the most this season. Her character changed the most, from redeeming herself from the previous season, to victim, to villain, until finally, her best self. The great leader and friend we know today. And those are my picks for the BFDIA finalists. Pin and Needle. These two are great finalist picks for me, as both Pin and Needle went through lots of development and provide much entertainment and also just personal preference. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe por favor. Goodbye.